What is going on, Live Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about a study that shows the power of walking. It was a really good design with a really good control arm, and it shows the discrepancies and differences of what walking could actually do for you. I'm going to go ahead and break that down in this video. Stay tuned. Alright guys, quickly before we start, this video is brought to you by yours truly, Fledge Fitness and the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. If you haven't gotten yours yet, what are you waiting for? With an ergonomic design, aluminum handle, and swivel design, you can't go wrong with the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. You can click on the top right hand corner of this video or down in the description box below. And of course, as always guys, thank you for your support. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Alright, so we're going to talk about walking, a study that was done in the Journal of Women's Health. Now, yes, the participants were all women, which is a good thing because of the extent that most studies, over 70% of them that we have on record, have been done with males. But this can still apply because there are physiological and biological similarities between male and female. Just like the male studies can give an insight to women, so can the female studies to men. All right, so now we're going to look at the methodology and the setup of this study. So it's an 8-week study, and they had 3 arms. So by 3 arms, just 3 groups. The control group, which was group 1, a long bout walking group, and a short bout walking group. Now, just so that you're aware, the control group was not don't walk. The control group was simply do your normal diet and training for the week, and we're going to look at your physical activity versus long bout walking and short bout walking. Now, long bout walking and short bout walking are both the same amount of time walking, except long bout is a 1 30-minute walk as opposed to short bout being 3 10-minute walks. So it's broken up 3 10-minute walks to complete 30 minutes, while long bout is just 1 30-minute walk. And they looked at body mass index, they looked at hip circumference, they looked at blood pressure, they looked at 6-minute walking time. They looked at all these different factors between all the groups. Now, please keep in mind that the control arm still did exercise and did their diet. They were not told not to do one. They were just told to simply follow their normal routines. They wanted to see that if you don't intervene with a person's lifestyle, can there be a drastic difference if there is a direct intervention with walking? All the people walking were told to walk at the prescribed heart rate percentages, which was about 60 to 70% of their heart rate max. They had the walking log as well as pedometers to ensure that they're complying with the process. Now, the study that was run by Katrina M. Surwey found some interesting facts about walking and not walking, or walking longer in one time frame than breaking up your walks. The compliance for walking was larger in the long bout walking group, as 80% of that group was compliant to the process of walking 30 minutes 5 days a week. However, only 67% of the short bout groups were compliant to doing short bouts of 10-minute walking 3 times a day, 5 days a week. What this compliance shows is that psychologically, it might be easier for you to just compress all of your walking into one walking session in terms of your actual exercise for walking. Of course, you still want to have incidental walking where you're just increasing your steps purposefully, like using the steps instead of the elevator, parking further in the parking lot so that you walk farther to get to the store or the mall. Those kind of things, you still want them. But when you're setting up a purposeful cardio session of walking, you probably want to go for whatever time that you're trying to hit, you probably want to hit it all in one session, because it appears that psychologically, and I guess maybe for comfort, it's just easy to bang it all out in one shot as opposed to breaking it up, coming back to it 10 minutes, going back to what you're doing, getting back to it 10 minutes, going back to what you're doing and getting back to it 10 minutes. Yes, you're walking only 10 minutes per session, so it appears to be easier as you're getting a large break before walking again. But walking is not that stressful to begin with, and many people can pull it off, and it increases your physical activity. So why not just do it all in one shot? That way, as it shows in this study, you have the potential, a higher potential to stick with it and to be consistent with it. The biggest thing that they got from the short bout group is that they didn't do their final third session per day. They tend to throw that one out. They just did the 20-minute and they were good. So you might end up doing less minutes because you just don't have the energy to go out and do it again, or it's just too much of a discomfort to go out for that third time and try to get that walk. So that's a good telling thing about this study, is that one long bout might be much better than the short bout. Also, the people that did the long bout overall took way more steps than the people that did the short bout. And of course, they both took more steps than the control group. So when they did the 6-minute walk test, they noticed that the people that were doing the long bout, they actually were able to walk further. So it appears that the people that walked 30-minute sessions were walking faster. They just ended up walking faster, which is better. Walking faster is actually better for fat loss and weight loss because you're burning more calories the faster you're going. So they actually started to walk faster than the short bout group, which is why they had significant increases in their 6-minute walk time. However, both groups increased their physical activity by a lot compared to the control group, who did not increase their physical activity. And the difference in the physical activity increase was significant between control and both long bout and short bout. And it was not significantly different between the long bout and the short bout. So between each other, it wasn't significantly different, but both together versus the control group, it was significantly different. Now, in terms of BMI and all of that stuff, believe it or not, none of that decreased significantly between even the control group. So like I said, the control group was not just physical activity. They could have had a different diet, whatever it is. They were told to live their lives normally, but they're being told this while being in a study. And many people, when they're in a study and these kind of things are being reported, they just tend to eat healthier. They just start to lean towards eating healthier, being healthier, doing more healthier things, because for some reason that people have this psychological thing of reporting weight gain and stuff to researchers. So that could have an impact on that, but the physical activity was not increased. So this also shows that physical activity alone is not a huge determining factor for actual weight loss numbers. It's very good. It helps energy expenditure, but your diet is always going to be possibly the most important thing in terms of weight loss specifically and fat loss specifically. So they didn't measure for the diet. So it could be that, the walking group was eating more and then still walking or what have you. But this just clearly shows there is a much higher physical activity in the walking group, yet there is no difference in weight and BMI. What there is a difference in, though, is that the long bout group had a significant difference against all of the other groups in terms of hip circumference. So their hips reduced for the long bout group. But the short bout group had a significant difference between all the other groups in terms of reducing blood pressure. So if your goal is to reduce blood pressure, it is possible that taking the breaks and then walking and taking the breaks and then walking can help improve heart health while simultaneously improving the blood pressure that comes with that, as opposed to just doing one session. So what do we learn from a study like this? Well, we learned that, applying some type of physical activity is always going to be good for your physical metabolic health, of course. And there was no significant difference between the two groups in terms of short bout and long bout when it came to most of these measurements and markers, but the long bout group did improve their physical activity better than the short bout group, even though the timings were supposed to be the same. It was still 30 minutes a day for each, just one did it in one chunk, the other one did it in 3 separate sessions. But it is still better to have a tool, to have something set in stone in terms of I'm going to do 30 minutes of walking, as opposed to just doing your cardio as like, whatever happens, I'm just going to try to, consciously walk more. It is much better to actually have a system that you adhere to. So you can tell yourself, Monday through Friday, I'm walking 30 minutes at 9 o'clock in the morning, every single day, 5 days a week. It's really good to have that because you held yourself accountable. There's a certain measurement there that it's tangible. You can't slip through the cracks when you have something set in stone, where you know that you have to follow it, where the time is coming for you to do it and you're going to do it. That helps you improve physical activity rather than just telling people, hey, do your normal thing. Remember, they're reporting this stuff, and the physical activity actually increased for the control group, but slightly compared to the walking group, which means that they probably said to themselves, hey, I'm going to improve my physical activity because I want to give better data to them, or I want to give or psychologically, I just want my data to look more impressive, so I'm going to do some stuff. But they probably didn't have any structure. This group had a structure. They knew they had to walk 30 minutes a day. They knew that they had to split it up in 10-minute sessions per day. Because of this, they dramatically and significantly increased their physical activity. And remember, it's not just about weight loss. Walking can be a gateway to doing other physical activity. It's not a far reach to say that now that you're walking, you want to see what you can do with some resistance training, with lifting some weight. That happens all the time. You start to get that, that health bug and that physical activity bug, and then you do a little bit more and a little bit more, which is evident in just this study right here, and how they did the 6-minute walking test and how heavily improved it was for the long bout group and even the short bout group versus the control group. All right, guys, hopefully this video has helped you. And of course, I want to thank my patrons for my Patreon, and I'm going to go ahead and put their names right up here. Of course, as always, guys, I'll see you on Wednesday for another FAQ. Peace!